Organic versus Inorganic by John Muchnikov. The proposal for this experiment. The question I wanted to answer in this experiment was how different fertilizers affected plant growth and rate, specifically with organic versus inorganic fertilizers. My hypothesis was that I believed that the organic fertilizers would result in a faster, taller growing plant. The independent variable for this project was the type of fertilizer used on each plant. The control was the plant without the fertilizer, and the dependent variable was the growth of the plant over time. The materials I used for this project were plants, soil, water, fertilizer, stakes, fencing, measuring tape, paper, pencils, pots, and of course time. The research part of my project. The research I had to do was decently extensive, but only the most important parts are listed in this project. For one, I found out that fertilizer is used to give the nutrients to the plants through their roots, much like soil does in natural environments. It just adds nutrients the plants do need that they can't always get from their environment. Organic fertilizers contain ingredients such as guano, compost, peat, moss, wood, manure, and other ingredients that are not harmful to the plant. Inorganic fertilizers are made of the direct nutrients plants need, such as phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium. There are other different kinds of inorganic fertilizers that may sometimes include ingredients such as zinc, calcium, sulfur, iron, or even magnesium. Organic fertilizers are less harmful to the plants, but the plants don't always get all the nutrients they need from the fertilizer, and sometimes the fertilizer may have the nutrients, but the plants aren't able to always suck it up. Inorganic fertilizers may cause harm to the plant by burning the roots or even harming the environment around them. But a lot of times inorganic fertilizers give more nutrients to the plant. It all depends on the case. My tomato plants, the plants I used for this experiment, grow to maturity in approximately 8 weeks and grow an average of 5 to 10 inches a week after the first 2 weeks. I saw more of an average of 5 to 6 or 7 inches a week. The setup of this project was quite simple. I had 3 groups of 5 plants. One group that received no fertilizer, one group that received organic fertilizer, and one group that received inorganic fertilizer. The conclusion to my project. After 6 weeks, the groups were measured 6 times, and I found that the plants with the organic fertilizer had grown the tallest in the fastest time. For the charts in the next few slides, this is a key. Group A had no fertilizer, Group B had organic fertilizer, and Group C had inorganic fertilizer. The hypothesis was confirmed. The organic fertilizer seemed to work the best. Through the data gathered, we can see here on week 6 that of the groups, Group 1A through 5A, the no fertilizer, Groups 1B through 5B, organic fertilizer, and 1C through 5C, inorganic fertilizer. Of these, it seemed that plants in Group B grew the tallest out of their groups. This chart also will show the data more plainly. We can see that plant A is in blue with no fertilizer, plant B is in red with organic fertilizer, and plant C is in green with inorganic fertilizer. Of all 5 plants in the 3 groups, or all 5 plants in the 3 groups, we can see in most times that the organic fertilizer grew taller than the rest of the plants in the groups. After that, most of the time came the inorganic, but sometimes the organic grew taller. Sometimes the no fertilizer grew taller, but most of the time it was organic, then inorganic, and then no fertilizer whatsoever. The final plant height for each group is shown. It's measured over 6 weeks, and the units are in centimeters. Wrap up for my project. My hypothesis was suggested to be true based on the data gathered. I believe that this project could have some errors that could be fixed by doing it in a more controlled environment with less fluctuations in temperature and possibly sunlight exposure. A few ways to expand this project would be to add more plants and possibly to try in different environments to see how those affect the plant rate. Last, I'd like to say thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed my project.